A story about misappropriation of local funds and lost money that they never told you about. Let's say that this is your paycheck. For every 100 lei you earn, you and your employer contribute another 70 lei towards the public budget. Then, every time you buy something, the state takes away 24% from the price as VAT. On top of that, you pay excise tax on gas, alcohol, tobacco, luxury products, and also a stamp tax, a radio TV tax, an ecological tax, and many others. City Hall also takes a portion through local taxes on houses, land, and cars. All of these taxes form the big national budget, out of which the city halls and counties are given about 1/4, according to EFOR's research. 1/4 is not much at all. City halls have big bills to pay for teacher salaries, social care, heating and transport subsidies, waste removal, and other services. So there's not much left for local investments, such as streets and sewage repairs, new parks, new kindergartens, and, in rural areas, paving country roads and extending the water system. This is why the EU gave us extra money for development, €20 billion between 2007 and 2013. But now, we are in the last year and we've spent only 1/4, a little over $5 billion. And because we did not trust the local mayors, only $1 billion was directed to them, while the rest were badly managed by governmental ministries. Politicians did not tell you these facts because their image would suffer. While the EU funds were lying unused in bank accounts, we paid 6 times more from our hard-earned national budget for local investments, about €5.5 billion. In other words, instead of billing the EU, which would have been free money, politicians took money from your pocket, knowing that nobody would be checking them. The biggest part, €3 billion, was spent in 2007 and 2008. Why? Because the elections were getting close and the minority government had to win over as many city halls and counties as possible. We're always talking about EU money and about how to ensure it's distributed on the local level where it's needed most. But that only represents €1 billion. What happened to the €6 billion that was collected from your money? Here are just a few of the abuses. Money was spent by several ministries to repair the exact same dirt road. Some local schools were restored, only to be closed when they did not have enough pupils. Money was given for bridges affected by water in towns which had no floods. Mayors were encouraged to start 3 to 4 investment projects simultaneously without actually finishing them, so they would have a reason to ask for extra money next year. There was no open competition for projects. Funds were given to those who knew people at the county level or in a ministry. According to EFOR, between 2004 and 2011, €6 billion from your taxes were used by the government to acquire more territorial influence and to encourage political migration towards the party that was in charge of the money pipe. Some mayors have already been through 3 or 4 different political parties. According to EFOR, misappropriation was at its highest exactly between 2007 and 2008, precisely when we had the biggest national budgets. Poor villages and towns have been especially vulnerable because their operational costs are 2 or 3 times their income. Therefore, they would do almost anything for an investment grant. For example, they would give oil and sugar during political campaigns or organize mobile voting units and buses with migrant voters. It rings a bell with you, right? The misappropriation of public funds results from lack of transparency and rules of spending your money. Other side effects include local moguls, namely the county chiefs, who decide discretionarily who gets money and who doesn't. Political migration of local mayors, which is the highest in Europe. Mindless spending of government funds or useless or perpetually unfinished projects. So what's stopping the Romanian ministers from creating objective rules and criteria for allocating national funds like the ones from the EU? For this, we don't have to change our constitution, nor do we have to change the national administration map and create a new layer of moguls, the regional ones. What stops them is their need to have control over public financial resources, use them for political campaigns, and perpetuating clientelism. And I have one more piece of bad news. In the coming years, we'll have more election years since the 1990s. 2 campaigns in 2014, 2 in 2016, 1 in 2019, and 1 in 2020. You realize what this means for your wallet, right? Go ahead and see the map made by EFOR. Find out how the money is allocated in each county and take action right now. Visit www.expertforum.ro.